guys, I hope we're doing good today. I know it's a little late on the video, but Christmas plans got in the way, so bear with me. But I did want to talk about something. It reminded me of myself, and it's something I actually said, and I thought it was very true. I was talking to one of my friends, and he asked if I wanted to get a ride from work to my car because it was raining. And I just thought to myself, I was like, sometimes you just have to walk in the rain. Me personally, I love being in the rain. I used to play basketball a lot, and I would play like throughout the night, throughout the whole day, like right when I get home from school. And it rained sometimes. I'm not gonna let that stop me, so I would play at least until, I'm fully drenched. I have to go inside and get dried up. So I don't mind the rain, but it made me think that, like, in life, sometimes we have to walk in the rain, So of course, me being corny, I was like, you know what, I'll walk, I don't care. So I did walk, and I loved it. But as for the main message, what I mean by sometimes we have to walk in the rain is that life is inevitable. Things are going to happen, and you're just going to have to be okay with what happens, and you're going to have to work through it, around it, or over it. But don't let yourself get stampeded by it. Now, that's obviously easier said than done, and it's obviously very contextual, but the general premise still stands that you need to be able to stick your ground and go through whatever life throws at you. And I found that to be very true with myself, at least. Just to go off on like a little tangent, I like to do things and live a life that is challenging, right? And that's for two reasons. The first one is probably more obvious than the other one, which is that I grew up in a very challenging lifestyle already. So it feels like home almost, which is a good and bad thing. The second thing is that it's fun, I like to live a challenging life because as I'm challenged, I know I'm still alive. It's kind of like the idea of if you stop learning, then you're not alive anymore. You've died, essentially. You have nothing more to gain from this world because you are either refusing to learn or you are unable to learn, or unable to learn, sorry. I kind of like lead that, I let that philosophy guide my life. Not that I'm always learning every single day, but I like to be in spots that aren't easy, because easy is boring. I'll give you an example. As much as I love my favorite team, the Charlotte Hornets, they are not the best. And whenever I play my little game, 2K, I'll always pick one of the worst teams because it's more fun playing with a really bad team and somehow bringing them to the finals and even potentially winning than to play on a really good team. Like, let's just say, for instance, like the Dallas Mavericks or, the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm just throwing names around here. I don't want to offend anyone. I probably just did by accident. But playing with a relatively good team and just steaming through and just filling in that empty slot they were missing with your own character and just destroying the game. It's just not fun, right? Playing a game and taking the easy way out is not enjoyable. And I think it's very similar, if not the same, as with life. Taking the easy way out with life is not fun. There's no fun to be had, right? And it makes you think about people who were born into money. And it gets into that opinion of money does not bring you happiness, which I think is very true. Because you'll see many cases of people who have money from the start and don't have to really work hard for anything. So all they do is just sit with their hobbies, right? But eventually those hobbies are going to dry out. They're not going to be as fun because they've just done that their whole life. And then boom, boom, boom. They've got no drive, no initiative, no self-endowment, no power to do anything besides, spend the money they have. And hopefully they can live through that, right? That's why you see a lot of these kids, they'll go through life without a job. They'll be very snarky, very selfish, very codependent, ironically, as well. But I'm not going to diminish anyone for being that way. It's just the example I'm giving. When you don't have a hard life, a hard lifestyle to drive you to be not just better, but to be you, you know? Because with difficulties, with challenges, with negativity comes an establishment of the self. And what I mean by that is these challenges in life come and try to rock your boat, but how you react to that is how you are. If you say, no, I'm not going to let that steer me that way, I'm going to actually push through and I'm going to keep going and I'm going to go to where this map is leading me to go, then it shows you're a resilient person. Vice versa, if you let it get steered off course just even a little bit, it shows you can be swayed by small or even large things, right? It's just a small example, but the point stands that the conflicts in your life are important, you know? They're not just interesting, they're important. You need to have conflict. You need to be in a position where you are not advantageous. You need to fight against the will of others and the will of life. And it's hard. And sometimes it really sucks. But knowing that and being able to experience that, in my opinion, is living. And that's life. Life is not negative. It's a mix. It's a mix of both negative and positive. It's a yin and yang, right? You can't just be okay with the positive. And likewise, for people who may be depressed or, you know, just looking at only the bad things, you can't just also be okay with the bad things, right? You're going to have both in life, and you need both in life. I don't want to have kids who are going to be raised rich and snobby and unproductive and don't want to be something of themselves and don't want to push people to be greater. I don't want that for my kids in the future. Likewise, I don't want kids who are always struggling and who can't break past this wall because they over-challenge themselves. There's a healthy medium. There's a mix between the two. And I think once you can find that perfect mix on how to challenge yourself without diminishing your own abilities, then you've lived a fulfilling life, or are currently living a fulfilling life, or you're capable of living a fulfilling life. So sometimes you gotta walk in the rain. You gotta challenge yourself. Let yourself try not just new things, but difficult things. And that can mean things you already do. You could pick up a new skill in something you already do. For instance, learning a new riff in guitar or learning a new technique when you're swimming. Something simple like that. Just small challenges or even big challenges you go on and throughout your life will create and bind these skills onto you. And then you'll become not just a newer you, but a reforged you, a stronger you, a you plus one. So try it. Live a difficult life within reason, right? If y'all do some stupid stuff, that's not on me. But I'll leave it at that. Just remember, always walk in the rain unless you don't want to. It's okay not to do that all the time. Y'all stay safe, alright? Merry Christmas.